So a really funny thing just happened. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people will laugh. Maybe people won't laugh. Um, I set this video up to do as a bit of a what's going on the channel, what's happening, and I did it. I hit the go live button and did about a half-hour video, only to realise a couple of minutes ago I hadn't confirmed the go live button. So I'd quite literally been sitting here talking to myself. I'd love to say it was a good conversation, um, but I guess we'll never know, will we? We'll never know. So, two streams in 2 days after having not streamed for a while. That's, yeah, okay. There's things happening. So I'm gonna just let the cat out of the bag. Yes, the channel's back. The plan is to start streaming on a regular basis and to create some interesting content. So, for those who don't know, to give you a brief history of the channel, um, originally I started this channel. Oh, gee, it'd be back in 2018, 2019, somewhere around then. Probably 2019 now I think about it. And it started off purely as an atheist channel. It was I'd not long sort of become an atheist, and I was trying to come to terms with it, and sort of found myself involved in the online atheist community, which is a very scary place. I'm just going to put that out there. Um, and I guess it was the beginning of my journey. So just sort of where I was going. Then COVID happens. Obviously, during COVID, a lot of us had a lot of time at home, and I started streaming on a very regular basis. So we did shows like Friday Night Six Pack, which was where six of us got together on a Friday night in Australia, which was Friday morning in the US, and just kind of had a chat. Initially, it was pretty much purely religious stuff, but then it kind of delved into politics, pop culture, and in the end, it was just really six people sitting around having a good laugh, having a bit of fun. And yeah, we had a pretty good audience that would follow us and watch us on a regular basis, which was really cool. During that time, I also did debates. I think my Darth Dawkins debates. Every day I get notifications that someone's commented on that, so they really have kept the channel going in my absence. And then we did cults and conspiracies, which was headed up by Jay, who's he was the co-host on the channel, and he'd look at a different cult or a different conspiracy every week. So there was always plenty of stuff happening on the channel. Um, but then, look, you know what happened? Life kind of got in the way. I guess for me, it started to become fairly laborious. It was I wasn't enjoying it as much as I used to. It sort of became like a second job. And yeah, okay, I was earning a couple of dollars from YouTube, not a lot. It's what I'd probably call a little bit of beer money. Wasn't like it was pretty minute, to be honest. It was maybe $100, $200 a month. So we're not talking I was diving into pools of cash. Um, but I mean, that wasn't why I was doing anyway. That was just a nice bonus, and that sort of helped pay for things like microphones, and it allowed me to sort of flick a couple of dollars to some of the co-hosts, and people where they needed it, and sort of do a few more things. But now I think about it, it probably cost me more to do it than I ever made. But hey, it's not why I did it. So I guess it did get to that point for me. Obviously, COVID ends, life kind of starts to go back to normal. Work, family, kids, everything gets in the way. And that happened for me. I think it happened for a few of the co-hosts as well. I'll just be really clear. Um, myself and the recent former co-hosts, we all get on. There's no issues. We don't talk as much as we used to, obviously, because we used to catch up every week. But like Jay, Ed, Jen, Matt, Claire, I still love those guys. Nothing but love for them, and I would happily have them and do stuff with them again anytime. And I'll probably be reaching out to them to see if they ever want to come on, do something, even just to catch up. Um, so what does the channel look like moving? I probably should say there were some previous hosts on as well. Some I get along with, some that there was some pretty probably falling outs with. But I mean that goes back years. I don't really hold any grudges against anyone. I wish people all the best. Yeah, there were some people who were friends who aren't friends anymore, and you know what? Good luck to them. Good luck to them. It's I'm happy to move on. Sure, they're happy to move on, and really, I'm not going to bring up issues from the past, but I'll, yeah, elephant in the room. We'll get that out. So probably the first question people are going to have: does that mean Friday Night Six Pack is back? Short answer is no. I don't have any direct plans at this stage to do a Friday Night Six Pack every Friday, or I haven't reached out to anyone who used to do it with me yet. I do intend to see if they want to do anything. Um, and look, a couple of reasons. The first is I think that was a season in my life. Um, it was a pretty interesting one where I went from, I guess, what I'd call a fairly angry atheist to someone who's probably a lot more relaxed on religion. I'm not an anti-theist anymore. I certainly don't, you know, blindly follow atheist leaders. I don't think I ever really did. I always questioned things, and that got me in a bit of trouble here and there with the, the popular, YouTubers from the atheist community, and that's fine. I really don't care. Um, but no, I think that was a season in my life. Uh, it's not to say it won't. Um, if it did, I think it would be different, or maybe it'd be like a one-off catch-up, or like a something here and there, which would actually be pretty cool. Now I think about it, as I'm talking about it, it'd be really cool actually just to do a bit of a one-off show with the old Six Pack crew. Um, could be a bit of fun. So we'll see. But I guess primarily what the channel is going to focus on. So it's going to be less on religion and atheism. There is still going to be that, because I mean that is, it's part of what the channel is, and it is still something that I want to talk about. But look, the days of me doing response videos to Kent Hovind or debating Darth Dawkins are probably well and truly over. Um, Not to say they won't happen, and you know what, I'd probably enjoy going another round with Darth. Although, he, after I did what I did to Darth and dismantled his arguments in our debate, um, he kind of just stayed away from me. He went from someone who actively trolled the chat to running as far away as possible. And even when he'd show up in the chat on other shows and other channels I was on, as soon as he realised I was there, he ran away pretty quickly. So anyway, that was that. But we had a bit of fun with that. But yeah, it'll be a little bit different. So, what are we going to talk about now? Politics, current events, things that are going on in the world. I want to make people aware of things they mightn't have heard of. Obviously, there's it's probably going to be a lot of US focused stuff, because the US, look, it's the biggest power in the world. It's where most of my audience is from, most of my co-hosts come from, and frankly, it's something I find interesting. I actually find US politics and what's going on in the US really interesting. I've something I studied fairly intensely, and something that I've got a real active interest in. I sometimes wish I didn't have an active interest in politics as much as I did, but I am what I am, and I'm not going to change. So, and I wouldn't want to change either. I am what I am. So there'll be that. Yesterday I did a show called Over and Under. I'm planning on doing that again on a regular basis. With Steve, with other people. I would say at this stage my intention is for Steve to be sort of a regular host on the channel with me. I think that's what Steve wants as well. Um, it's something, Over and Under is a show that we originally did about 5 years ago over on his channel, and on the Non Sequitur show, or his personal channel, where the idea was two people from different parts of the world with opposing political views got together and had a conversation about things that were going on. Um, Now, it was really interesting back in the day because we disagreed on so much. Ironically, over the years, myself and Steve, our political views have kind of come a lot closer together than I realised. And yesterday, when we were sort of having our conversations, we agreed on a lot more than we disagreed on, which is really interesting. That someone who is on the right, myself, and someone who I would have said was definitely on the left, in Steve. Although Steve he says he was a centrist. I disagree with him. I think he was on the left, but that's okay. Certainly, he was to the left of me. Um, it's interesting that over the years, even though our views haven't really changed, we have a lot more in common now than we used to. So maybe that's a sign of the times. I don't know. Maybe I guess watch the show and see how things go. But the plan is to, I guess, almost a kind of panel show with that. We want to have other people on, people with opposing views. I want to be able to have conversations with them. Look, there's nothing I like more than when I have a conversation and it's with someone who I disagree with, and they change my mind on something because I think that's how we learn, that's how we grow. Um, even if we don't change our mind, I think it's good to understand where the other side is coming from, and I've always advocated for that. I've always advocated for having conversations with people you disagree with, not to have a debate, not to change minds, not to, get people's, to miraculously change their entire worldviews, but just to at least understand why people think what they think, why people believe what they believe. I'm a conservative and I'm an atheist. So you can imagine, there's a lot of interesting conversations I have out there. When I first became an atheist, I used to have fairly confronting conversations with, Christians, Muslims, people from a variety of different religions. And I've sort of found over the years that I'm having better conversations, and I actually have a lot more in common with Christians than I have opposed. A lot of our values and standards are the same. There's some obvious things that we are going to disagree on. Um, I mean, look, the obvious one is anything to do with LGBT rights, things like that. I understand the Bible says what it says. I don't follow the Bible, so we've got difference of opinions there. But I think I'm pretty pro family, pro people going out and having a go, getting ahead on their own. So yeah. Anyway, that's the a bit of the idea for over and under. I'm also going to do some short videos, so it could just be things where I see something online, just pop on, want to have a chat about it. It could be things that are sort of pre-planned. I do intend on doing some information videos, on historical events, things like that. Just where it's interesting and relevant, and even sort of looking at current things that are going on in the world. Like one thing that I think a lot of people don't know is there's conflicts going on. I mean, everyone knows about Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, but people don't know about Rwanda and Congo. What's going on there? People don't know about a lot of other conflicts that are happening in the world, a lot of other disagreements, particularly stuff that's happening in Africa. There's a bit of another scramble for Africa, but instead of colonial powers coming in, it's big nations trying to exert influence. America, China, looking at you guys, Russia. Um, so I think there's some interesting conversations to be had there, and some interesting information that I would like to be able to share with people. Um, at this stage, I'm committing to do at least one episode per week. Ideally, it'll be a couple more, but I'm also not wanting to set myself up to fail. I don't want to burn out again. At the start of the year, I set myself a couple of goals. The first one was to lose weight. And since the start of the year, I'm down 17 kilos and filling $1 million. Let me tell you, filling $1 million. Also, I wanted to make some changes with what I'm doing career wise, and those are in the process of happening right now. And I wanted to get back to streaming because I love streaming. I enjoy it so much. Some people reckon I enjoy the sound of my own voice. Maybe that's the case. But I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy having conversations. I enjoy being challenged. I enjoy having to think. Um, I just enjoy it. It's it's what I like doing, and that's something that I said to myself I wanted to get back. I wanted to start doing again because, frankly, I miss it. I miss the people I used to engage with on a regular basis. I miss my co-hosts. Um, just miss it. So I set myself the goal that I would start it up again, and rather than just rushing out on January 2nd and going right, this is what I'm just going to start doing something. I want to sit back and think about, all right, well, what does the channel look like? How does the channel grow? What am I talking about? How does it work out? So at this stage, I'm kind of dipping my toe back in with the rough plan that I've just spoken about, that's going on. And I think what will happen over time is probably, um, yeah, we'll probably see what happens. Um, so I can see there's even a few comments here. So which isn't bad for for an unplanned, really quick off the cuff stream. So is it a Christian channel? No, not a Christian channel. It's not a Christian channel. I'm an atheist, but it's not an atheist channel either. Um, I intend on having conversations with people who are like, some of my best friends are Christian. Actually, I've just got a friend of mine who he's quite literally just planted a church and he started doing a lot of content on YouTube as a Christian. And I said, it wouldn't it be interesting for he and I to have a conversation? Because I mean, we chat all the time anyway. I said we should have one online, and he was all in for that. And I thought, okay, that could be cool. Just two mates with different beliefs shooting the shit, having a chat. Politics and atheism doesn't mix. It does. See, the thing with I think political atheism has taken a bit of a life of its own. I think atheism as a political movement has been hijacked. Um, there's plenty of atheists who are all over the curve when it comes to politics. I know people on the right, people on the left, people in between. So look, it's doesn't mix. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Speed roaming, good to see you. Good to see you there. David saying he is to the right of Attila the Hun. That's pretty right. Although I don't really know. I'd have to look at Attila the Hun's politics a bit more closely, but I get the reference and the joke. And once again, Speedy, thank you very much. It's really good to be back. I feel happy doing this. Just even yesterday, like having conversations in the chat, um, having conversation with Steve, just going out there and doing it. Like 2 hours went so quick. We'd only planned to do like an hour to an hour and a half show, and 2 hours just went like that. Even this was just meant to be a quick 5 minute. Here's what's happening on the channel, and what do you know? I've been talking for 17 minutes after having previously stuffed up and not recorded for half an hour. So there it is. Look, everyone, that's what's going on. Keep an eye on the channel. If you haven't already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all that notifications, all that stuff that YouTubers are meant to say. Enjoy, come and engage. If you agree with what I say, cool, let me know. If you disagree, absolutely let me know. Challenge me. If you think I'm wrong on something, challenge me. That's what I'm here for. Everyone, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Sorry, the only thing I'll say, sorry, before I forget, times that I'm going to be doing things. So look, I'm in Australia, so I work on Australian Eastern Standard or daylights, depending what time of the year it is. Look, to give you an idea, roughly, I think at the moment, I think I was working it out with Steve yesterday. I think the US or the west coast of the US is it's like it's 5 hours ahead, but it's actually 19 hours behind. So there isn't a huge time difference. I think as daylight savings starts in the US and ends in Australia, that's going to widen the gap. It's probably going to be closer to a 12-hour time difference, I guess, on the East Coast. But look, I'll be doing things generally my evenings, which is morning for those of you in the US, uh, kind of mid-morning, early afternoon for those of you in the UK and Europe. And for everyone in between, I guess you'd have to work it out on your time zones. But you kind of work it out from there. So everyone, thanks again. I look forward to doing this and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks for listening to me rant for 20 minutes. Can't wait.